Hello, welcome to new unboxing, and in fact it will be the first video dedicated to the new advanced version of the Runner 250. So this is the Walkera product, RTF model for a runner, okay, in 250mm size. So now with the advanced version come with a transportation bag, okay, and you will find inside all the room and the position to transport your quadcopter as well as your transmitter and your different elements. So what you will find in this nice, you can carry on the bag, nice bag. Here is the full contents of this one. So first things, here is the new quadcopter. I will describe in few instances the main novelty, difference and common things with the Runner 250, the first edition. So basically it comes with exactly the same type of radio. It's a Devo 7. You will need 8 AA batteries, but personally I'll use a LiPo, okay, like this, and in order to not charging all the time some NEMH batteries. So it's a quite heavy but not so bad RTF model. You have a lot of switches, 2 on the left, 3 on the right, okay. So on the main control will be done on the right switches. For example, this one, the mixed one, will allow you to select between the GPS hold on position when it's in 0 position, normal flight, no assistance, no GPS assistance, and when it's in second position, it will be the return to home. The DR switch is to select the rate, dual rates PID values, so upper position for beginners flights and more advanced when it's in one position. Finally, this one, the FMD1, when it's in a 0 position, it's the horizon, so more stabilized, and when it's pushed completely and the second position is activate the acro mode, so without the gyroscope stabilization. Out of the box, if you have the camera versions, the gear switch will be used to turn on or off the camera recording. Actually, the last switch is not assigned, but I strongly advise to assign to a threshold hold, okay? It's very useful in case of crash. So basically, when you turn on this radio, you have the deviation from Walkera OS. Unfortunately, this model don't have enough memory to welcome the deviation TX operating system. That's the main drawback of this radio. But you have to know that the Runner Advance, you have a deluxe package come with the Devo 12, okay, welcoming a 5.8 GHz small FPV screen, and this one you can install the deviation TX firmware. So basically, this Walkera model is used. Of course, a Walkera protocol. If you have a deviation TX compatible radio, you will be able also to fly this quadcopter by using this radio instead of maybe this one. It's not really not a bad model, but a little bit heavy in my point of view. The range is announced to be close to 1 kilometer, so it's very good thanks to the receiver incorporating the diversity antenna system. So what also you will find a nice instruction manual, okay? So it has been updated for the advanced version, and for example, you will find all the role of the switch I mentioned just a few seconds ago. And well, and more important, you will find, for example, the calibration step. So for example, the compass calibration, I will do a specific video to show how to make the compass calibration, but as well as the gyro calibration, if you are especially in mode 2, this screen, and the accelerometer, this one, okay? So you need to perform 3 calibration steps: gyros, calibration, and compass, okay? So as I said, here you have the functionalities of all the switch I just explained. What also you will find the battery The battery is the same that the former Runner 250 edition. It's 2200 mAh, announced to have a discharge rate of 25C. I can weight it, but exactly the same. So something like 169 grams. Okay, you have this small charger using the balancer plug to charge it. It will take approximately 1 hour and a half, 2 hours to charge it. I strongly advise as soon as possible you are in this hobby to buy a real charger, okay, to not reduce the durability of your life by not so good recharging cycle. Associated with this charger, you have the power unit, okay, come in the American socket, so probably you will find, if you are in Europe, the European adapter. What also you will find a set of two props. So basically there are 6-inch props, okay, and they are slightly different from the former Runner. Here is the bag with the Runner, the former edition, are the new one. You can see that now the extremity of the props are no more flat. Okay, so they little bit change the design, and also probably the flexibility should be more crash resistant with the new model. So they are 6-inch model. They are self-tightening, so you just need to install on your shaft of your motor and spin it in the opponent side of the motor rotation, and it will self-screw by themselves. It's a very nice features. What also you will find, and it was one of the drawbacks of the Runner, you will find on the Runner this compartment to block the battery when you will insert it. Okay, why? Because in case of crash, in the frontal one, the battery can move very fast and damage your front part. Now is no more the case, okay? And in order to block more the battery, they deliver this rubber pad to avoiding any battery sliding battery inside your compartment. So you just need to insert in this position and install your battery on the top, and you will completely block when you will lock your battery with the strap. Okay, so that's definitively a good point. So now I will talk about more the center of gravity. If I'm holding in the center one, okay, you can feel now it's much more centralized. So maybe a little bit more, well, it's more or less the case, more or less the case. So to conclude the contents, you will find these small bags with some keys, 2 Allen keys, and a wrench to probably remove your prop socks. Okay, so I described completely the content of the box. Oh, I forgot to, you have a trainer port. That's a good point. On your one of these ports is a trainer port using the PPM output. So if you want to train yourself to perform some flips, etc., it's good you can use a simulator for such training session, offline training session. Okay, so now let's more focus on the main novelties difference versus the Runner. Okay, I will show the former edition. Here is the Runner, okay, side by side. So basically you have a list of common things and difference. The first common thing, I will start with the common thing. They are using exactly the same time of shape and structure and, well, element, arms, main plates, battery plates, etc. Unfortunately, as I will show, okay, here, the arms, the main plates, lateral and central wall, they are not yet in full carbon. Okay, I will make a small conductivity test to demonstrate. So you use the digital multimeters, and I will show that, for example, for a rear carbon part, let's take this small quadcopter. If you apply in 2 elements, you should notice, okay, let's focus on the arms. If you put an extremity, you can hear a full carbon conduct the electricity. Okay, so now let's focus on the new one. You will see that, unfortunately, if I do the same experiment, whatever I'm playing in different part of this carbon, no more conductivity. So it's not a real 100% carbon. I don't know, maybe fiberglass element, probably. So unfortunately, the durability to crash is not improved with the advanced version. Second point, the thickness of element. For example, I can measure, give you some size indication. So if I measure the arms, okay, to be sure, with the row stuff, is still 3 millimeters, okay, whatever, 3 millimeters, okay, and the two structural one are 1 millimeters for the lower one, and the second is close to little bit less, okay, 90 millimeters I would say. And the more important, and this element, the battery one, unfortunately didn't change, and still something like close to 1 millimeters, pretty thick. The thickness is very poor, and as you understand, and one of the main drawbacks of the Advance is not solved compared to the former edition. So it means that this plate will break. So even if they are blocking the battery, I don't understand why they didn't use a more larger element. Okay, maybe to save extra grams is, well, strange choice. And first, why they didn't install at least some standoff to make solidaire, to make working together the force in case of crash. So that means that the force applied here will be automatically applied also here in case of crash if you install some standoff between vertical standoff between the two plates to compensate, to absorb the force in case of crash. So at least a mode will be to install some standoff 1, 2 here to make something solidaire between the two plates, and maybe you can install on the battery some element between, okay, to have a kind of unity in between the two elements. That's at least it didn't solve these problems at all. So definitively is still a major drawback of the advanced version. So I'm disappointed clearly. Okay, so now let's focus also on the motors. As you can read on the new one, you have now some 2,500 motors. They are still 2814 type, but now the motor are spinning a little bit faster, 2,500 compared to the 2,100, okay, for the firmware edition. So probably since now you have a GPS module located behind, okay, some extra weight. I will give you the difference of weight between the two models. They install some more faster and I hope more powerful motors between the two editions. So what also the ESC are still exactly the same. So they are announced to be okay, 15 ampere. Sorry, they are still very easy to change. So you have this. You just need to replace it and screw and replace it. That's pretty good. Okay, so 15 ampere will be enough for this type of quadcopter. So what also the main difference maybe the type of connector, the LEDs between the two elements. Sorry. Maybe they change a little bit the rear connector of the LEDs. The color of the rear LEDs also change a bit. Now it's more red. They paint in red the back LEDs. Okay. The antenna mount now it's using a folding system. Okay, like this. That's maybe good, but in case of crash, I don't know if you take a branch like this, it will break. So well. Could be nice ideas for transportation, but I'm not sure versus time it will be very resistant to crash. Now the main electronic element are still the same. So for example, the camera module located front for my FPV version is still the same 800 TVL. Okay, I can show it's the same still 800 TVL model. So very nice, very good light sensitivity, very crisp image and precise. So I like it, but it's very strange, and we'll see in the FPV videos. You have this front bumper to protect from crash for sure, but you can understand immediately that it will limit the field of view by this central part. So it will hide part of the image. So for FPV flying, I'm not sure it's a good idea to block a partial part of the videos. The video transmitter is located here. It's exactly the same, the 5816 in both. The antenna now come in black, okay, just design, but it's still the same short antenna, you know, so very close to this carbon element here. This one is probably, so imagine you are mounting a Mobius camera. Most of the signal is blocked by your camera, and this one also a Mobius or is also creating some radio frequency interferences. So not only will block, but it will also interfere with your 5.8 GHz about. So definitively you should install a more higher antenna, maybe this one instead of this one. The performance of this one is not fantastic also. So it's reducing considerably the range of your video link. So I strongly advise to use another cloverleaf antenna. What are the command? The main board, the main controller board are the same. Just some cosmetic design. Now you have some the label are written. Okay, for example, on the micro USB is written, and here you have this it's written that is GPS. Okay, compared to the former edition, but you can still install, I guess, the GPS module on the former runner. It should work, maybe after some software configurations. So these are the common things. Another difference, the camera mount here, the mount are in plastic. Now it comes in metal. Okay, that's a positive point. It will be more solid. But for the GPS, this one is in plastic. So you can imagine that if you are falling on the back, okay, it will crash very easily. So it's maybe a drawback, I guess, for me. I don't really understand this choice. Also, one of the difference you can find in on the power distribution board. So, for example, the black one is now full compared to the former one was some hole inside, so probably more resistant. And you can still find on the left the external radio connection if you plan to use another receiver. Okay. Still on the right, you will find now one of the main features. You will find a buzzer here, so that's good. So and it's configured. So as soon you will lose your quadcopter, your connection, this one will emit a beep. That's pretty good if you lost it in the high herbs grabs, for example. Here you will find an external connector to deliver a 5 volt to power a Mobius cam or your FPV, another, I don't know. You can find some power here, that's good. And voila, that's the main difference on the power distribution board. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I think I focus on the main difference. I can give you an idea of the weight of the elements. So I will use this box star. I will start to measure the weight. Okay. Okay, I will use this box star. So the new edition scale, I can install it correctly, 444 grams compared to the former one. So 390, you have close to 54 grams of difference. Mainly come with the GPS module, okay, and I guess also with the extra weight of the front bumper and maybe the metal elements now instead of plastic. It's not a big drama, a big difference. Okay, so I think it's largely compensated by the much better capacity and powerful motors. That's a good point. And also, I forgot to mention one of the main features, originality, is the presence of LEDs there. Okay, so on front and on the rear arms, it's to indicate if you are flying with several pilots in an FPV race. It will indicate in which direction you are actually turning. So if you are turning on the right, both will emit some lights. It's okay, it's kind of turning signs. And if you are turning on the left, this one will emit some lights. Okay, so this is the main physical difference or common things between the Runner one. And now I will focus more on the radio. So one of the main problems with the former Runner was out of the box. The Runner don't offer any phase safe, at least on the throttle. It means that if you are losing your radio connection, I don't know, for any reason, no more batteries, no more in the range, the motor won't stop, and you will see that at least even in the no GPS assisted, so in one position of the mix switch, it's exactly the same. So I will demonstrate this fact. Okay, I will install the battery there. So I will start the radio. Okay, first turn the radio and power the quadcopter. Okay, you have the initialization, some red lights. Okay, and now you can see the two LEDs was solid, and now only the left one is active. Okay, so to arm the quadcopter, you still have to push the left sticks completely on the lower right, and you can push the throttle trim. To disarm, you have to push the throttle stick to the lower right. Okay, and now it's disarm. Okay, so I will see that if I arming the quadcopter, okay, the right LEDs become solid. Okay, let's spinning, and I will turn off the radio. You can see the beep buzzer is emitting, but the motor is still spinning. So your quadcopter is in a flyaway configuration. So how to proceed? You turn on radio. Okay, and gently bind, but it's no more working. You cannot anymore taking the control of the radio. It's even worse than the former edition, where you were able to retake the control of your quadcopter. So you have to turn off the quadcopter. Okay, and I will show how to configure the phase safe. This is definitively a really important procedure to do. So where you go, you turn your radio. Okay, you press X to End to enter in the menu. Press twice button to go to function. Okay, and then with the button you go until to find phase safe. So it's one of the last menu. You press N to enter on it, and go. The more important is on the throttle. So press down until you are in the throttle, and you can see by default you are in all positions, so in a flyaway position. So what you have to do, you have to enter and and to change to safe. Okay, now it will be more better, and okay, and you have to change to safe by this upper switch. You validate, okay, and be sure that this one is 100%. Now it's done. You apply a phase safe on the throttle. Okay, you can exit. You can now check this point. Turn the quadcopter. Okay, fade to bind. I will maybe restart the radio. Okay, start the radio again. I lost the bind. Okay, now it's okay. It's a bind. So I will start the motors on the quadcopter, solid line, and it's okay. And now I will. It's working. Okay, you still have the buzzer, but that's correct. That's good. So definitively, you have to do this one. Okay, it's very, very, very important to proceed like this. Another point, maybe you will find some settings to improve your fly flying characteristics, but one important is probably to change the rudder attitude. Out of the box, the rudder is a little bit slow, so how to proceed? The same stories. You press until to go to the function model. Okay, you go to the second one by the button. This one, GRV Advance, okay, Travel Advance, I guess. You press Enter, and then you go down to the rudder, okay, and be sure to now to the lower rate is this one, okay, when it's in 0 position, to install it at, to push the bottom and set it to the maximum, which is 150 if I'm not wrong. Okay, it's a little bit long, no possibility to edit it manually, but it's almost finished. Okay, and now you go to the rudder, so the rate, maximum rate is 1 is 1. You have also to configure and press to 150%. Okay, and when you do that, the yaw, whatever the rate, will be pretty nice. Okay. It's very important. Okay, so now the two basic parameter settings are done for the radio. So definitively, I strongly advise to configure immediately your fail-safe. They didn't solve it. That really drawbacks. You can play also with the rudder if you prefer to have a faster yaw. And I will show also in another video how to activate the throttle trim, which is which is very important. As soon as you will see that you will crash, you press this throttle hold to cut immediately the motors. Okay, that's pretty good. Concerning the flips of the desk behavior, so mainly what is the flips of the desk is typical when you're flipping or you are close to the 0 position in your throttle. When you re-increase the throttle, maybe only the front motor will spin and you have a small delay between the reactivation of your front or rear motors. It means that this fraction of a second will be enough to make your quadcopter flips and crash. So the one solution found in the internet is to give a nominal throttle thanks to the trim button. That means your motor will always spin at a nominal tour per minute. Okay, that's a trick to avoid the flips of the desk. So you can find a lot of video doing that. But in my flight, I didn't find that I will suffer too much because the center of gravity, wow, as you can see, is a little bit on the rear now. So you probably need to fix it, but it's more or less okay. It's much better than the former Runner editions. You have to be very vigilant to well localize your and to position your batteries. Why? Because now you have a GPS functionalities. It means that you have the GPS hold, okay, and the return to home. So if you want to play to fly with the GPS assisted mode within a mix in 0 position and to test the GPS holding, you will find that if the battery and the compass calibration is not perfectly done, you will meet some toiling boil effects versus time, okay, that your quadcopter will do such kind of movement. So how to fix it, first be sure that your battery is well positioned. You have to play with a strap, okay, a Velcro strap to fix the center of gravity, and the compass calibration have to be done very carefully to fix the compass data for the flying contouring board. The GPS is announced to be also GLONASS compatible, so the Russian satellite system, but in practice, you know, the accuracy when you have the both system in all the element I found, it's just a very slight improvement in positioning. So, well, maybe you have a better positioning thanks to the dual system, but it's more an advertising element for my point of view. I will also show a small element of the FPV. So first I will give you the emitted power of the video transmitter. So I will remove the antenna. Okay, so it comes in, if I'm not wrong, it comes in the ACME connector. Okay, so this is the ACME connector. So I will plug my immersion RC power meters, okay, to give you an indication of the emitted power. You have to tighten very well the element. Okay, more or less okay, everything tight. So I will plug on the powers. Okay, and you will read. Actually, the battery is not plugged, so I'm 0 dB. Okay, and as soon as I will plug, you can read 340 milliamps watts. Okay, emitted. So it's pretty good. I think it's not very legal in Europe, but it's like this. So you have enough power to fly correctly FPV for sure. So that's definitively a good point. The emitted power is strong enough, more than 200 milliwatts. So you should have, with the better antennas, at least more higher, you should have a great FPV transmission, at least for several hundred of meters, maybe 1 kilometer. That's good, pretty good. So I will reinsert the original camera. Okay, well, just an indication. I will show the video transmitter is using a not common use band. It's really specific to Walkera, I guess. So if you have a 32 channel video transmitter, for example, I reviewed recently the excellent Airchin 5802S. I will use it. You will see that the default channel is the first one. So basically, first one in the band B1, okay, is 5733. So I will show how is the image quality, and I already mentioned the drawbacks that unfortunately, due to this front bumper, okay, maybe I have to remove the camera caps. It will help a lot. Okay, so I was in D7. I have to change the. I will return in D1. So here is the video quality, and you can see that you can find the black lateral bar. So the camera is not well positioned. So we install it more horizontal. So here is. You can see that you can find the 2 bar blocking part of the image, but you have all the OSD information. That's pretty good. So for example, well, it's not since it's not connected, the artificial horizontal line is not yet operational. So I will probably disconnect and turn on the radio. Okay, reconnect. Okay. Wait the binding. Okay, now it's done, and as you can see, you have the artificial line, horizon line, indicating. Okay, actually, I'm finding I am indoors, so you have the number of satellite there. Actually, I'm 0, but maybe I will be able to find some here. You have a lot of information appearing in the OSD. That's pretty good. I really like this OSD. You can find the main batteries, your local coordinates. Be aware, if you are recording on the DVR, the two bottom line are not appearing on your recording. Be sure to be in PAL format, but I observed that I was not able to find. So you have the main batteries, probably the receiver battery there, and different elements, the compass, your actual mode. So here I'm in M, like manual mode. So if I'm pressing the upper position, I will be in G mode. Well, I think I'm not receiving any satellite. He forced me to be in manuals, okay. And you have the compass element on the top, and your altitude, vertical velocity, the distance zone, etc. So really I like this OSD, and it's pretty nice. As you can see, the image quality of the original camera is very good. I like it's very precise and really it's a very good camera of FPV camera. So that also definitively a very good positive point of this model. Okay, so I think I end this first video, a long one, sorry, but I try to present the main difference, physical difference between the original 250 and the new advanced one. So to resume, new GPS system, thanks, it's more adapted to probably flying in more longer distance. You have to absolutely to change the cloverleaf antenna, but it's not, since you have 50 grams more, you probably will add a Mobius cam, so you will add probably 100 grams. So it's less for an acrobatic flyer, it's more to perform long flight FPV, okay, but it's still nervous, still sporty, and it's much more to play with the long distance, and it's the actual PID values are pretty stable. It's very stable flyer out of the box. As you already see in my first FPV video, I will have more, of course. And really, I like out of the box how it's flying. It's not so powerful with your, for example, a Mobius cam. It's not the strongest flyer I have. So anyway, it's much more adapted to long flight FPV in my point of view. What I like is the quality of the FPV camera. It's out of the box, you have nothing to do. Well, it's not completely true. I said you have absolutely to done your F5 safe configuration of the radio at least, and probably also to do the throttle hole parametering also, but it costs nothing. What I don't like in this model, in fact, the ideas of the front bumper is not really good ideas. It's blocking partially the image. It's still not full carbon elements. Is still the thickness of the battery plate is still poor, and it's probably will break around this part. Okay, so you probably need to apply the fix, maybe to double this plate or to install some vertical mount standoff to consolidate everything. But except these three drawbacks, important one I would say, it's more or less homogeneous. I advise for someone who already know to fly and be vigilant and don't take any tourists, is more to perform more long flight FPV. Okay, so I will end this video. I hope I was not too long, sorry, but I will have some other one. If you like this video, please expect another one about the advanced, about the flight stabilization, GPS holding, how it's working, return to home, and so on. And if you like my videos in general, please subscribe my channel. See you next time. Bye bye.